Well, it's finally time for you to be retired. I'm going to give the people here a little bit of your background for those that don't know much about it. You were elected to serve in the Metropolitan Court in 1998, where you continued to serve for 15 years. For 11 of those years, from 2002 to 2013, your peers elected you as Chief Judge. As I understand it, that's probably the longest serving period anyone has served as Chief Judge of that court. The second place that I'm aware of is Judge Joe Wood on the Court of Appeals, who served for 10 years. Justice Nakamura's efforts as Chief Judge centered around innovating and improving court processes and implementing programs to better serve the public. These efforts gained her national and local attention. She was named Judge of the Year by the Albuquerque Bar Association, and she received the University of New Mexico's ZIA Award, recognizing distinguished alumni, as well as the National Mothers Against Drunk Driving President's Award. I think, Justice Nakamura, you've expressed extreme pride in receiving that award. Justice Nakamura was also an excellent trial judge. Shortly after she was elected, I had the pleasure of appearing before her in a criminal case in the Metropolitan Court. She was a fair and impartial judge, giving everyone an opportunity to be heard, and she gave us a prompt ruling. Judge Nakamura was appointed to the District Court of the Second Judicial District in 2013 by Governor Martinez, and she was then later on elected to her own term in 2014. At the District Court, Justice Nakamura presided over criminal cases where she had a reputation as being a very tough, but at the same time, a very fair judge. Justice Nakamura was actually contemplating retirement when an opening came in the Supreme Court due to the retirement of Justice Boston. However, I am told lawyers, judges, family, and friends first encouraged, then persuaded her to apply, and Governor Martinez appointed her to the Supreme Court in 2015. This was historic. She is the first female Republican to serve on the Supreme Court, and her appointment created the first female majority on the court. It is also bears remembering, and I think she is the first that in her own right served at every level of the New Mexico judiciary. Remember, the Metropolitan Court is a magistrate court. She then served in the district court, and after that she served in the Supreme Court. I am unaware of anyone else who has done that, served on all three courts that way, and being appointed and elected to their own terms in their own right. After coming to the Supreme Court, Justice Nakamura was elected by her colleagues to serve as Chief Justice, and she was sworn in 2017, becoming only the fourth woman to serve as Chief Justice in the court's 108-year history. When I joined the court, the female majority continued to rule, as the court consisted of myself, Chief Justice Nakamura, and Senior Justice Vigil. Justice Nakamura continued to serve as Chief Justice until July 15, 2020, when I was elected Chief Justice. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but if I'm counting right, she served on the Supreme Court for 5 years, and 3 of those 5 years, she was the Chief Justice. That is an amazing accomplishment. Now, while she served on the Supreme Court, it is difficult to list all that she has done for the court, and I'll leave that to posterity. Justice Nakamura, I keep expecting that you will be telling us that you're just joking about retiring and that you will stay on several more months. But 22 years is a long time to serve, and because I'm doing this video, I guess it's true. The sign in your office, "Why can't I retire?" should be taken down immediately if it hasn't already been taken down, and you can now have your wish. The people of the state of New Mexico and the judiciary owes you a great debt of gratitude. On behalf of the judiciary, thank you. Enjoy your retirement, your ballooning passion, and your dogs. You deserve it. Although you will soon be retired, you will never be tired. I suspicion in my mind that you've got some other plans that you've got hidden up your sleeve. Whatever you do, God bless you and Godspeed. Thank you for your service.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to speak to you today in honor of our own Justice Judith Nakamura, and to share with you just a few thoughts about Justice Nakamura and what she brought to the judiciary, and my personal gratitude to her for her service to New Mexico. I've been fortunate to serve with Justice Nakamura since her appointment to the bench to the New Mexico Supreme Court, and we comprise the first female majority, along with retired Justice Petra Maez, the first female majority in the history of the New Mexico Supreme Court. And what an honor it has been for me to serve with her on this court. As you know, Justice Nakamura is a powerhouse. She is strong, she is focused, driven to make good changes to our state. And yet, on the other side of that power is a sense of kindness and compassion and understanding for the people that she serves. I have to say that Justice Nakamura and I are probably as different in our judicial philosophy as any two people could be. And yet, in our disagreements, she was always respectful. And that is precisely how an appellate court should function. She respected my differing views. We often debated about various legal issues that we looked at and concluded to be different from each other. And yet she was so committed to the strength of the Supreme Court as an institution. And so while we had many disagreements, I have to say that as a person, as a judge, as a justice, she is someone that I will truly admire and have truly admired for many, many years. Thank you, Justice Nakamura, Judy, for being who you are, for leading our judiciary, for committing your professional life to the service of others, and for making not only the court, but all of New Mexico proud that you're one of our own. Good luck, happy flying in your hot air balloon, and may you have a wonderful years ahead. Thank you.
Justice Nakamura, thank you for your service to the judiciary. Your dedication to the courts over the past 22 years will stand the test of time. I've enjoyed being your colleague on 2 different courts, and you will definitely be missed. Now go enjoy the countless hours you're going to have to fly your balloon, and best of luck.
Justice Nakamura, Chief Justice, colleagues, guests, and friends, thank you for the opportunity to spend a quick moment with you to congratulate Justice Nakamura on her retirement. I began my comments with wearing the mask because I don't think we can give proper appreciation and context to Justice Nakamura's service to the judiciary without recognizing her leadership in delivering us as we make it through this crisis, and hopefully soon we will be at the other end of it. At some point in a few years, or maybe a year, we'll be able to reflect on the judiciary and its conduct during the crisis that is currently unfolding. I think history will only be kinder to Justice Nakamura's service to the citizens of New Mexico. And that is based fundamentally on what makes her an excellent jurist and an excellent person. She approaches everything with diligence, based on objective facts. She takes everybody's thoughts into consideration. She is transparent in her decision-making, and she is in all regards fair. She is a wonderful person and has made a wonderful colleague. But I could not leave without saying on a personal note, your retirement, Justice Nakamura, is well deserved. And I hope foremost that you enjoy your time, that it is relaxing, and that you live a wonderful and productive retirement. I wish you all the best. Congratulations.
Ready? Can you describe Justice Nakamura in one word?
Fearless.
Energy.
Pilot.
Fierce.
Tenacious.
Patriot.
Second question for us to consider. What do you think the first thing Justice Nakamura is going to do when she retires?
Refuse to do laundry and recycle her jeans.
I am hoping that she is able to travel.
I think she's going to head for the hills.
I still don't have a good answer. We're gonna have to redo it again. I need an answer. Go out of state.
What do you think the first thing Justice Nakamura is going to do when she retires?
Refuse to do laundry and recycle her jeans.
I'm hoping she's able to travel to Spain.
I think she's going to head for the hills.
I don't see any ways she's not going to fly.
I hope she's gonna turn off her cell phone.
I think she's going to do absolutely nothing. Well, I'll say a couple words about my friend Justice Nakamura. I was impressed working with her when she was chief of Metro Court. How her leadership for that court and the direction that she brought that court in her time as chief there was just amazing. And I think that the success of Metro Court is largely due to the leadership and the work that Judy, you did with your colleagues there at Metro Court when you were there. And then when you came over to District Court, I was just so impressed that you just jumped right in to the hard work that we were doing at District Court, and you fit in right away. Although you were sort of the low one on the pole when you came over to District Court, you accepted that and you just jumped right in and were a tremendous colleague. And I think it goes without saying that when you became Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, your leadership has just been remarkable. And I am so impressed by all that you've done as chief, but never more impressed about how you have led the judiciary during the pandemic and the struggles that we've had over the past 8 months. I know that you're currently not chief, but while you were, I mean, I think taking hold of the reins and trying to direct us to keep the doors open and keep the judiciary going forward in the midst of an unprecedented pandemic was just amazing. I appreciated your leadership. I thought it was very thoughtful, measured when it needed to be, and firm when you needed to be. And I think that the ability for the judiciary to go forward in the midst of this pandemic and keep our doors open, keep proceedings going forward, is largely due to your leadership. So thank you very much. You'll be missed in the New Mexico judiciary. All the best to you in the future.
Justice Nakamura, you have been a leader, a mentor, and a friend to the judiciary. We appreciate everything that you've done, and you are leaving behind very big shoes to fill. Your commitment to the judiciary has been something that has really elevated us to getting closer to the level where we need to be, and we really appreciate it. And I hope you can take some time to reflect on the things that you were able to do and to understand how much you meant to all of us. Thank you.
All right. Justice Nakamura, you are a true leader, and your courage and focus and energy has made our judiciary in New Mexico stronger. You have brought us closer together. Your leadership in the time of the pandemic and your availability, your accessibility, your friendship to all of us has just been extraordinary. I am so honored to have worked with you on the Z team. I'm so proud of the initiatives that you've started. I know you'll continue to work with us on that, and it will be just a game changer in terms of the way we work and the lens through which we see the litigants in front of us in the state of New Mexico. And I will sincerely miss you. We all will. And I wish you the best in your retirement, although I know you will be still with us and so available to all of us.
All right, thank you. Justice Nakamura, I will miss you in two different areas particularly. First of all, I'm going to miss your opinions. So, because even when you reversed me, you made me feel good about my opinion. And I actually agreed with you in most of the times as you were reversing me. I'll also miss your support during the pandemic. I can't imagine a better leader that I could have asked for. I will miss our Sunday afternoon chats. It seems like throughout when we were the hardest hit up in the 11th, you were always available. And it seemed like we also always had a crisis on a Sunday afternoon, and you were always available to talk me through things. So I'll miss you. Best wishes in the future.
All right, Justice Nakamura, you know, it's a sad day to have you leaving the judiciary. I'm going to stick with the analogy that I've continued to use, and I know you're going to look forward to utilizing your balloon as much as possible. But I really feel like you've been a pilot to the entire judiciary. You know, you've provided a great guide, the initiatives. When you've planned an initiative, it's not just talk, you know, really putting pen to paper. Also really just ensuring the safety, you know, and the collaboration amongst the courts just really been outstanding. And so, you know, I often wonder, you know, if there's really three of you, because the amount of time, effort, and dedication that you've given to public service and to the judiciary is just frankly amazing. Best of luck in your retirement.
Justice Nakamura, on behalf of the New Mexico municipal judges, I want to appreciate you for your tenacity and your expertise in the law. You have really shown that you support the judges, you support the staff, and everybody within the judiciary is important, from the small court to the large court, from the east to the west to the north to the south. You really care about the New Mexico judiciary, the safety of the judiciary now during the pandemic, and we really hope that you enjoy your retirement. I know you're after 2 weeks you're gonna want a second job or want to get busy doing something, but we appreciate you and we wish you the very best, and keep safe, and we'll see you on the next time.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. That was very nice. Is there anything else you want to add? Do you guys can you think of anything else that would be funny? Or I think we pretty much covered it, but you tell me.
You know what's amazing is really, and I think all of us could talk to you, is Justice Nakamura's presence. You know, as judges, we all want to control our courtroom. You know, we all want to have control of the courtroom and make sure that we're getting through to people. And whether even it was at judicial conclave, ERT meetings, chief judges meetings, or when Justice Nakamura contacts you, she has that control and that presence, and and it's warranted. It's warranted because of her intellect, because of her drive and her dedication. And I think that's what I think of most, is really the presence that Justice Nakamura imparts.
Justice Nakamura, I wish you heartfelt congratulations on your retirement. You and I have talked about how your abilities and the way you judge cases, the way you assist people, how that's impacted me. Not too many people know, you and I have discussed it, that I first met you more than 20 years ago when I was a law student appearing in DA clinic in Metropolitan Court before you. At that point in time, I was impressed by the way you handled the defendants. You treated them with attention and compassion, but yet held them to an appropriate standard of behavior in your courtroom. I respected that. I learned so much from that short time in DA clinic. Then when I took the bench, we became reacquainted again. I appreciate your quiet ability to maintain demeanor in the courtroom, your ability to maybe with just a single sentence in a dissent tell us all your feelings and why you think something is important. You're very well reasoned. I appreciate the fact that you take a moderate approach to the law, and I'm going to miss that. I appreciate the fact that you gave me the opportunity on the innovation team and that you saw something in me that I didn't know I had, and have given me the opportunity to fly with the innovation team. And I want to tell you, I thank you. And now maybe that you're retired, we can sit and have a beverage together and talk about anything that's not law related. Congratulations on your retirement.
Hello, Justice Nakamura. I'm not sure where this clip will appear in the final video, but wherever it is, I am certain you are squirming about now. I know how much you dislike these sorts of things, and you may be just a little nervous. After all, you just don't know what a retired person might say. But not to worry, you can relax. I've just been asked to share a few words about your term as Chief Justice, and I have been instructed to keep it short. So, with that in mind, I will mention just 3 of the many things that stand out for me as I reflect upon your term as Chief. First is the clarity of your commitment to excellence in the administration of justice. Frankly, most people are not particularly interested in how courts actually work. They find budgets, personnel policies, clearance rates, docketing, and time to disposition about as interesting as watching paint dry. Until, of course, there is a problem, and then they want it fixed yesterday. But fortunately for New Mexicans, from the beginning of your judicial career at the Metropolitan Court, through your time at District Court, and during your tenure as Chief Justice, you have worked to be sure that New Mexico's courts are not only safe, open, and operating, but are continually striving to do the absolute best they can to serve all those who come before them. Your Advancing Judicial Excellence campaign, which provided the framework for most of your initiatives as Chief Justice, was a reflection of that commitment, and it resulted in real, positive, and lasting systemic change. Second, I heard you say more than once that the greatest successes are achieved when we all work together. And during your term as Chief, you worked hard to engage others in making New Mexico's courts the best that they can be. You visited courts and met personally with frontline workers, administrative staff, and judges. You held working retreats and planning meetings for chief judges, CEOs, and court leaders, and brought in national experts to stimulate our thinking, facilitate discussions, and evaluate existing programs. You worked closely with the state bar and with the legislature and the executive branch to garner support for new and innovative programs. And of course, you gave them all your personal cell phone number and encouraged them to call you directly. If they hesitated, you just picked up the phone and called them, especially the chief judges. Dialing for chiefs, you called it, continually checking in and gathering feedback. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, I will remember your dedication to making things better. As we prepared your remarks for UNM's 2018 Fall Commencement Ceremony, you told me that you ran for a seat on the Metropolitan Court because you saw things that you knew could work better and you believed you could do something about it. Your belief that our efforts can make a difference was reflected on a plaque that sat on your bookcase at the Supreme Court. The plaque says, "She believed she could, so she did." That for me sums up your term as Chief Justice. You saw things that could be better and you did something about them. Things that have made a real difference both for those in the New Mexico judiciary and in the lives of the people we serve. And I, for one, cannot wait to see what you'll find next that could work better. Whatever it is, I am certain you will do something about it. Congratulations on your retirement. It is well earned and well deserved, and I truly hope that you will enjoy every moment of it. Congratulations.
Nakamura, we decided to do a Zoom video for your retirement video. All of us are going to go around and talk about our fondest memories about you. And I first like to thank you for taking the leadership role when Metro Court needed a leader. You took over and we became our chief judge for almost 14 years. We want to thank you for that, for getting the funding appropriate and being the leader that this court needed at that time. One of my fondest memories of you was when we were in St. Louis and we got tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals game, and we're up in the nosebleed section. And not knowing you very well, we had a few drinks, and I told you I could sneak down behind home plate, and you betted me a beer. I couldn't do it. And after I got behind home plate, you went down there with me, and we enjoyed the last 3 innings. So thank you for everything, and I hope you enjoy your retirement, and I hope you continue to sneak down and have real good times with everybody.
Hi, Justice Nakamura. This is Kathleen, and I just want to congratulate you on your upcoming retirement and thank you for your leadership. You're a real class act, and you're leaving some very big shoes to fill. So thank you so much for all of your dedication to the judiciary and the people of New Mexico.
Justice Nakamura, my husband served on one of your jury trial panels. The weather was particularly bad that day, and he made it to the court in the snow and ice to serve for jury duty. Members of the panel had waited patiently without much word of what was happening that day. You took the time to come out to the jury assembly room. You told the prospective jurors that witnesses could not make it to the courthouse for a few hours. You told the jurors while the trial did need to happen, it simply was not fair to have the panel wait any longer, sent them home, and personally thanked each and every one of them for their service, especially because of the inclement weather, and to have a good day. I mention this because my husband was thoroughly impressed by your leadership and steady presence. You have demonstrated extraordinary leadership during your judicial career with great wisdom, diligence, and robust impartiality and independence. Your legacy is that of a respected jurist, particularly the efficient administration of justice during these unprecedented times. I wanted to thank you personally for being always available to discuss any matter related to court operations day or night. Thank you for your dedicated service to promote the cause of justice, uphold the rule of law, and protect the rights of all citizens. We at the 2nd Judicial District Court wish you the very best in your retirement. Enjoy your beloved hobby of hot air ballooning, knowing that you have left an indelible mark on the New Mexico judiciary, the 2nd Judicial District Court, and me personally.
Justice Nakamura, I just wanted to say thank you for demonstrating again your leadership. You've always led with conviction. I've always respected that. My fondest memory was, I think, my first summit. It was in Ruidoso. I was kind of nervous, you know, rubbing shoulders with all these justices and whatnot. So in between one of the rounds of beer, it was my turn. I went into the hotel to buy some beer for our group. And there's Justice Nakamura on the side of me. So I offered to buy her a beer. So she got a Guinness. It was, I think, about a 24 ounce. She drank that sucker like it was a Gatorade. 2 drinks and it was out. I was like, she leads like she drinks beer, which is tenacious, and she's got my utmost respect. So cheers, bottoms up. Thank you for the good times.
Justice Nakamura, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your character. Thank you for your ongoing effort during this difficult time in this pandemic. I remember when I was just a buyer at the Bernalillo County Metropolitan Court and you became a judge at the Metropolitan Court. My supervisor at that time, Gary Smith, told me like this: Judge Nakamura always means business, so make sure you do what she asks you to do. You do it quick, you do it efficiently, and you get it done. Thank you, Justice Nakamura.
Thank you for your leadership, Justice Nakamura. Thank you for the opportunities that you provided me in the judiciary. Appreciate you selecting me for the innovation team trip, and that was a very good experience and a very good project. So I just want to wish you happy retirement and joy in all your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
So my fondest memory of you, Justice Nakamura, it was the year 2008. That's many, many years ago. Seems just like yesterday, but it was a beautiful California afternoon. It was the first time I was ever with a group at NACM. We were walking down the street getting dinner, and for some reason, you know, we just kind of fell back together and talked the whole way. And during that time, I realized just what a wonderful person you were. You interacted with somebody you didn't know. You made me feel special. And you've just been a mentor to not just some of us within the judicial branch, but also women. And I just want to thank you for your time and your effort to make us succeed in this world that's right now very difficult. So good luck in your endeavors, and you will be missed. Thank you.
Congratulations, Justice Nakamura, on your retirement. As you can see, I'm not near the hot air balloon pilot that you are, as my balloon has left the building. I no longer have one to navigate here behind me. But I wanted to keep this short and sweet, just like you like to do. When conducting business, 2 things I always appreciated about you: if we had an issue or a problem, you always answered your telephone. You could always sit down and have a beer and take care of business. And I always really admired that about you. Congratulations. Best of luck. Thanks.
Justice Nakamura, thanks for all your dedication to the judiciary. I've certainly enjoyed working with you all these years, certainly working with you on the budget committee. You were a true pioneer. Your leadership shows through today, and certainly you led us through the crisis that we've been dealing through 2020. One of my fondest memories is when you came up, you first became Chief Justice, went to Aztec Farmington, and then that night we drove to Gallup. You said I was driving a little too fast when you followed me that night, but you and Deborah and I had a dinner and a couple of drinks. I think that's when consolidation was formed. But you will be missed. Your leadership, you know, your tenacious attitude, nothing was going to stop you. So thank you, and certainly enjoy your retirement to the fullest.
Justice Nakamura, thank you for everything. Bringing up the Lincoln County Commission is probably going to give you a moment of PTSD, but your commitment and determination helping us get a combined district and magistrate court facility in Lincoln County will have changed our operations drastically and changed the lives of literally everyone living in Lincoln County for the better, and we couldn't have done it without you. I want to thank you so much for that. You've been so inspirational, and rather than saying goodbye, I hope to just say until next time.
Justice Nakamura, thanks to the wonderful technology of Zoom, I appear to be floating inside your balloon. So this is a new experience for me. Thank you very sincerely for your many, many years of service here in the judiciary, and I particularly wanted to say thank you for leading ERT, and I know that your leadership on to the judiciary's pandemic response really made a big difference for all of us. But when I look back over, your years as Chief Justice and your years on the bench, I think that it's clear your biggest achievement has been keeping Robert Padilla in line for many years there at Metro. So thank you for doing that, and all the best to you in retirement.
Justice Nakamura, I apologize for appearing to have your balloon crashing outside my window. It probably just reflects my fear of balloon flying. I have had the honor to observe you through many accomplishments and amazing moments of success, but they're all too boring, so we won't go through all of them. What I want to talk about are things that happened in, well, first of all, the first time we met, we interacted personally, was back in Carlsbad at a legislative meeting down there about 14 years ago. And appropriately, we got to know each other in a bar, which the bartender just left and left us to close the bar because we were watching baseball and we refused to leave. And that was a good start, I thought. And what I'd really like to talk about are the many things that happened in many interesting places like Idaho and Las Vegas, Nevada, and District of Columbia, and all over New Mexico, particularly a beer hall in Taos, for example. But I was told by my Chief Justice that what happens in those places stays in those places. And normally I wouldn't have to respect that since you're leaving. But I do remember many, I wouldn't say conflicts, but interactions we had when you were the Chief Judge at the Metropolitan Court and I was the the director of AOC. We didn't always agree. And I hope I treated you well enough, but what I really appreciate is that when you became the Chief Justice, and you were Chief Justice for 3 years, so it was a long tenure, you were kind enough not to remind me very often that you were now the Chief Justice and not the Chief Judge of Metro, and so whatever our disagreements were, we knew who was going to come out on top. Well, that's appropriate because I respect you, I've learned a lot from you, I watch you do amazing things, and I want to say congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for everything you've contributed to the judiciary. Now, I believe that all of my colleagues are going to raise a glass in tribute, right? You all have your glass? Mine must be vodka since it's clear. And we say salute to Justice Nakamura.
Salute.
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 Now that we wet our whistles, we have a very special, if completely gruesome execution of an attempt to sing a balloon-appropriate song as our send-off to you. And when you hear this song, you will be glad that you don't have to deal with many of us for very long. But we're going to give it our very best try, from the unicorn to the cheesehead to whatever that is. Well, with that, Kevin, hit it so we can all sing our tribute to Justice.
Take yourselves off mute.
Would you like to
ride in my beautiful balloon?
Would you like to
ride?
Beautiful balloon. We'll fly up the stars together, you and I. We can fly. We can
Da-da,
Up and away.
da-da-da.
up and away.
Oh,
My beautiful Where's a nicer place in my beautiful balloon?
Thank you. Let's make a joint wish to no more birthdays this year.
Happy retirement. Another toast. Dilly dilly.
Dilly
Dilly
dilly.
dilly.
Dilly dilly, happy
Dilly
retirement.
Dilly.
Nakamura. This is David Scrace, your partner in creating safe court COVID practices so that the justice system could continue to run despite the pandemic. Beyond that, though, I think we share a love of detail, of safety for our employees and all who enter our doors, and also solving pesky problems in Placitas as well. I'm really excited for you as you enter this new phase of your life. While it will be a retirement from what you're doing now, I'm certain that it's going to be exciting to watch as you choose your next path and your next goal. C.S. Lewis said, "You're never too old to set another goal or to dream another dream." And I can't think of anybody that's going to be more interesting to watch and follow and probably emulate than you after you retire from your position on the court and choose what the next phase of your life is going to look like. All my best wishes. Really proud of you. Really grateful as a New Mexican for all your many years of service to all of us, and best wishes.
Hello, Justice Nakamura. I'm not sure where this clip will appear in the final video, but wherever it is, I am certain you are squirming about now. I know how much you dislike these sorts of things, and you may be just a little nervous. After all, you just don't know what a retired person might say. But not to worry, you can relax. I've just been asked to share a few words about your term as Chief Justice, and I have been instructed to keep it short. So, with that in mind, I will mention just 3 of the many things that stand out for me as I reflect upon your term as Chief. First is the clarity of your commitment to excellence in the administration of justice. Frankly, most people are not particularly interested in how courts actually work. They find budgets, personnel policies, clearance rates, docketing, and time to disposition about as interesting as watching paint dry. Until, of course, there is a problem, and then they want it fixed yesterday. But fortunately, for New Mexicans, from the beginning of your judicial career at the Metropolitan Court, through your time at District Court, and during your tenure as Chief Justice, you have worked to be sure that New Mexico's courts are not only safe, open, and operating, but are continually striving to do the absolute best they can to serve all those who come before them. Your Advancing Judicial Excellence campaign, which provided the framework for most of your initiatives as Chief Justice, was a reflection of that commitment, and it resulted in real, positive, and lasting systemic change. Second, I heard you say more than once that the greatest successes are achieved when we all work together. And during your term as chief, you worked hard to engage others in making New Mexico's courts the best that they can be. You visited courts and met personally with frontline workers, administrative staff, and judges. You held working retreats and planning meetings for chief judges, CEOs, and court leaders, and brought in national experts to stimulate our thinking, facilitate discussions, and evaluate existing programs. You worked closely with the state bar and with the legislature and the executive branch to garner support for new and innovative programs. And of course, you gave them all your personal cell phone number and encouraged them to call you directly. If they hesitated, you just picked up the phone and called them, especially the chief judges. Dialing for chiefs, you called it, continually checking in and gathering feedback. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, I will remember your dedication to making things better. As we prepared your remarks for UNM's 2018 Fall Commencement Ceremony, you told me that you ran for a seat on the Metropolitan Court because you saw things that you knew could work better and you believed you could do something about it. Your belief that our efforts can make a difference was reflected on a plaque that sat on your bookcase at the Supreme Court. The plaque says, "She believed she could, so she did." That for me sums up your term as Chief Justice. You saw things that could be better and you did something about them. Things that have made a real difference both for those in the New Mexico judiciary and in the lives of the people we serve. And I, for one, cannot wait to see what you'll find next that could work better. Whatever it is, I am certain you will do something about it. Congratulations on your retirement. It is well earned and well deserved, and I truly hope that you will enjoy every moment of it. Congratulations.
Hi, Justice Nakamura. I just wanted to say that I can't believe that you're going to be leaving us. You've taught me so much personally. You've really inspired me to take on the chief role myself, and I really appreciate that. That was a very rewarding decision. You've given us guidance and leadership. You've always taken my phone calls and helped me out whenever I needed advice. Your leadership has been invaluable, but your friendship has been much more important to me.
So I'm Jane Levy, and I first got to know Justice Nakamura well when we both showed up. She was kind enough to include me in the innovation team that started in Vancouver, Washington. And we went to Vancouver, Washington for a wonderful conference. And at first I was really nervous because, you know, you're the district court judge, relatively new on the bench, and you're there with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And she was fantastic. And I knew she was going to be fantastic because she looked at me and said, "Do you like beer? You want to meet me for a beer?" And so Justice Nakamura, Judge Donna Maurer, and I sat down and bonded over really good Washington and Oregon beer and had a great time. And we were staying in a hotel that was hilarious because there were like piped in bird sounds at the hotel. And I think everybody thought that Vancouver, Washington was going to be in the woods. But it was actually right by the mall where we were staying. It was fun. And really, the best part was just getting to know the justice as a fun, dynamic, intelligent, hilarious person who really cared about making sure that our judiciary moved and changed and did it quickly. And frankly, I have to say, when Justice Nakamura decides that something is going to change and that it needs to change, she makes it change. And it was fantastic to work with her. And I'm going to miss all of the IT meetings. I'm going to miss all the ideas. I'm going to miss the phone calls where we're trying to figure out what we're going to do next and how to solve it. Most of all, I'm just going to miss the fact that she really helps. She reaches down and helps. And one of the things that I will never forget is the saying that for female judges especially, our job is, when we get to the top, to send the elevator back down to get the young, new female lawyers, judges, and raise them up. And she did that for me. She got to the top and she sent the elevator back down. And I learned so much, got to do more than I ever thought I would. And it's going to be hard to not have her, but it's been wonderful. And I look forward to, when this whole COVID thing is over, to buying her a beer. Because I think at that point she can accept a present and she won't be allowed to buy me one. So I look forward to that. I'm going to miss you, Justice. So I got to do a lot. Most of all, we got to do I-Team together, the innovations team, which Justice Nakamura is the chair, and she brought me on, starting in Vancouver, Washington, and then moving forward. And really and truly what we did was basically take Justice Nakamura's ethos, which is we can make things happen. We do not have to wait. We can come up with an idea and see that idea come to fruition. And that is what the innovation team was all about. And so meeting with her on almost a monthly basis, coming up with new ways to have the court assist parties, lawyers, judges, and try and make our court system work well was really something that was special. And we got to do it. And she made those meetings not only happen, but to really change the way that our judiciary sees projects. When something landed at innovation team, we motored forward. And I'm always going to miss that. I think that Justice Nakamura gave us the motivation to change the judiciary in record speed and to do more for the public, the lawyers, the judges, our administration, and make sure that we're listening to feedback and making the changes necessary to push us into the next life cycle of this judiciary, including online dispute resolution, which is awesome. So thank you.
Justice Nakamura, I was asked to say a few words on the occasion of your retirement, and I was so glad to be asked because in the 7 months that I have been your law clerk, you have become one of my heroes. Not only do I understand much better why you are so widely respected, admired, and treasured as a jurist, but I have had the personal benefit of your unfailing encouragement and mentorship and insight, and most of all, the example of who you are. And I think you embody the principle of leading by example and through service. And as I've thought about what to say to you, I keep coming back to an observation that I hope is not presumptuous, but I think you are a very striking combination of conviction and strength and also vulnerability. And when I speak to you and listen to you, I hear your deep intelligence, and also I hear a spontaneous honesty. And I think that is the natural outgrowth of your integrity. When you have integrity, you can be bold, you can be confident, as you are. And when you speak, people trust you. And I trust you. And we need more of that in the world. So I want to say thank you to you for your integrity. And I want you to know that you have made me more committed. You've made me more committed to not only working hard, but working well. You've made me think about getting it right as opposed to being right. You've encouraged me to listen to the perspectives of others, to really try to understand people who have a view that may differ from my instinctive view. And you've also encouraged me to have the courage to pursue what I think is the best course. You make me want to be more generous, more appreciative, more joyful, more committed to my work, more creative. And indeed, you have the energy of 3 people in all that you do. And I aspire to your enthusiasm and your goodness. And so I want to thank you so much for being of such service and of such good service to so many people, but most especially to me. Thank you.
That was very nice. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, that was great.
You know, I first met Judge Nakamura when she was in the Metro Courts in Albuquerque on that, and what I appreciated whenever she was presenting in front of the Legislative Finance Committee and the Budget Committees, she was very firm and not overbearing by any means, but certainly held her ground if there was ever an exchange that would take place between a legislative member and a judicial member. She could certainly hold her ground, and so she earned my respect from that perspective early on, and then as she ultimately was appointed to the Supreme Court under Governor Martinez, I believe it was, she moved to Chief Judge, but I had a chance to interact with her on budget issues when money was extremely tight, and the thing that she communicated to me, and one of the reasons that I really respected her, I respect the 3 branches of government as far as being equal branches on that, and she respects the 3 branches of government as equal branches. And she was in my office with a House member that was what I believe procrastinating on making budget adjustments for the judiciary, trying to buy additional time before it was ever said and done. And the judge sat there quietly because she knew that she was in the legislative branch that day on that, and I made a decision in that room that was quick and cut off the House member. But I took away from that, not that she was fearful of the legislative branch or my action as chair of Finance Committee, but out of respect for the system that we have. And she communicated that clearly by abstaining from really discussing the particular issue. She was just present there. The House member, I believe, invited the judge in, thinking that I may be backing off from my position, and I didn't back off, but she communicated that she really respects the separation of powers and the 3 branches of government. We had an opportunity to interact when she was on the campaign trail down in Lordsburg, New Mexico, and I think there weren't very many candidates that came in there. I think myself and the judge were the only 2 candidates at that forum, and there might have been 25 people there, but it proved to me that she was trying to get around the state on that, and I have the utmost respect that she had her political hat on for that occasion from that standpoint, and was received extremely well in that area, and I think she commands the respect throughout the state of New Mexico because of her demeanor and the way she carries herself and the way she presents herself on that. And to my way of thinking, that we just need more judges that are out of the mold of Nakamura.
Thank you, Senator. And what would you say, what should she do in her retirement?
Well, I guess I would tell her to go fly a kite, but I think she'll go fly a balloon on that. So we wish her the best, but I think she will be active in some area, and I think she will always have some say in trying to make our state a better state. And I think she would probably volunteer her time, would be my take on that. And so I don't think I'm going to have to tell her exactly what to do, but she probably will have a chance to enjoy more ballooning also.
Chief Justice Nakamura, Judy, this is your old friend Victor from Metro Court. You remember Metro Court. I just wanted to say thank you for all your hard work. I wanted to sincerely wish you the best in the future. You should know that you have always been one of my favorite judges, and I have the utmost respect for you as a judge and as a justice. And more importantly, I have tremendous and the most amount of respect for you as a human being, because I think you're just wonderful. And again, I just sincerely wish you the best in your future, and give me a call so we can have lunch. Good luck.
Justice Nakamura, I wish you heartfelt congratulations on your retirement. You and I have talked about how your abilities and the way you judge cases, the way you assist people, how that's impacted me. Not too many people know, you and I have discussed it, that I first met you more than 20 years ago when I was a law student appearing in DA clinic in Metropolitan Court before you. At that point in time, I was impressed by the way you handled the defendants. You treated them with attention and compassion, but yet held them to an appropriate standard of behavior in your courtroom. I respected that. I learned so much from that short time in DA clinic. Then when I took the bench, we became reacquainted again. I appreciate your quiet ability to maintain demeanor in the courtroom, your ability to maybe with just a single sentence in a dissent tell us all your feelings and why you think something is important. You're very well reasoned. I appreciate the fact that you take a moderate approach to the law, and I'm going to miss that. I appreciate the fact that you gave me the opportunity on the innovation team and that you saw something in me that I didn't know I had, and have given me the opportunity to fly with the innovation team. And I want to tell you, I thank you. And now maybe that you're retired, we can sit and have a beverage together and talk about anything that's not law related. Congratulations on your retirement.